When your clients' brands need to stand out, make them brighter with brighter promotions. Named Supplier of the Year, a Sage A+ supplier, and recognized with numerous industry awards. From fast-turn, single-color imprints to brilliant full-color processing, our dedicated team of more than 45 professionals delivers the wow factor. For larger direct import programs, our own Chinese factories provide global capabilities with the attention to detail, responsiveness, and understanding of your client's needs that only a domestic company can provide. With full product testing and hundreds of thousands of successful orders and reorders, Brighter Promotions delivers fast, dependable, high-quality promotional products. Brighter Promotions, making your clients' brands shine, is our passion.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole Cook and I am your host. Today I am joined by a very special group of women to talk about LDC from PPAI, and this is a unique conference unlike others because this one is really about pouring into leaders and people and about there's talking about the next generation and leaders in general. So before we kind of dive into what makes this event so valuable and special, I would love if you guys can go around and quickly introduce yourself and say your name and what your role is with this conference. And Megan, I'll pass it to you to start.
Yeah, my name is Megan Dean. I'm the Associate Marketing Manager here at PPAI. I'm also the Young Professionals Staff Liaison for the Young Professionals Committee. And so LDC is like one of my favorite events because it is the young professionals, and so I get to network with them.
Jill, I'll pass it to you next.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Jill Began, and I'm the Manager, Regional Relations and Communities at PPAI. And I'm connected to LDC because of the regionals. This conference has a couple different tracks, young professionals and also the regional associations. So that's how I'm connected to LDC.
And I'm Halle Moore. I am the marketing director at BAYSTATE, and this will be my third time attending LDC, and I'm lucky enough to be this year's chair of the work group. So that is my connection.
Awesome. So obviously a great group to be talking about this today. So to kick us off, I'd love if each of you in your own words could just describe, like, someone who's never been to LDC before, like, how would you describe it? And I'll just kind of, whoever would like to take the floor.
I'll jump in first. I think it's a room full of people who really want to be there and really want to invest in their career. Everyone in the space either had to have the courage to ask their boss to send them or their boss saw something in them and chose to send them. So it's a room full of people who are really trying to make the most out of it, and it's an incredible environment to be in.
Love that.
And on the regional side, these folks are coming as volunteers. They are the regional leadership, the board members, the executive directors. So the board members aren't coming as a distributor, a supplier, a business service provider, that sort of thing. They're coming as a regional leader to learn and be able to connect with others, be able to find out more information and work for their members.
And this is actually going to be my second year at LDC. Last year was my first year attending. So it's incredible that they have two separate tracks. It's really tailored to, the young professionals and the networking's incredible. But then you also have the chance to network with the regionals and meet with them and kind of get, guidance and advice from them as well. So it's a great event.
I love that. And so when you hear Leadership Development Conference, I could see that some might assume that they need to be in a leadership position already. Is that the case, or why not?
Definitely not the case. This conference is really, on the young professionals track specifically, is really made for somebody who wants to grow into that, and that's where they see their career going. The sessions that are covered, it's everything from pretty entry level basic stuff to more advanced industry stuff. There's stuff for everyone and really made for people who are looking to grow into a leader at some point in their career.
And the regionals who are there are coming as regional leaders from their board. So some are already established leaders, some are emerging as leaders. So they don't have to be leaders, whether it be in their professional world, in their volunteer world. The content, though, definitely helps to build the leadership within the regional community as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and even yes, and even for those like in the young professionals track that are stepping into that leadership role like pretty early in their career, that's what's nice about the education sessions. Like Halle said, there's a little bit for everyone, like you could be talking about, just getting started, kind of like what I was last year, and then you have these other young professionals that have been in the industry for a long time and have all this knowledge, and they're still gaining stuff, from our education track. So it's nice that it's a broad range of, learning while you're at the event.
Yeah, well, you just said something that was a perfect segue into my next question, which is that they're gaining knowledge and learning. So we talk a little bit more about like what is it that people are learning when they're at the event? Like what do people gain by attending?
So I think this will be my third year attending the conference, and I think last year what the work group did a really good job of, and with the help of PPAI staff, is making sure that the sessions had really tangible items that people could take away from it. So people are leaving with skills that they can take back and use in their role. Last year, there were some sessions about negotiation and giving and receiving feedback. They were very tangible workshop style classes that when you left, you were able to take those tools with you back into the workforce. It also, you leave feeling very confident too. It's really the best of both worlds. You leave feeling very refreshed, but also with a lot of stuff in your back pocket.
That's awesome.
And throughout the year, we're getting information from the regionals. What are you looking for? What do you want to gain out of LDC? So the RRC, the Regional Relations Committee, and PD from PPAI work together to develop that content. Last year, it was heavy into board boot camp, strategic planning, things of that nature. This year, it may be more geared towards membership events, things like that. And there's a lot of collaboration between the regionals. Learning from each other, what's worked, what can we do differently to make it work for our regional and our members.
And yeah, I completely agree. And what Halle said at the end was like the confidence that you leave with. I was still pretty new to the industry when I attended last year, and I get a little bit nervous here and there still sometimes, but just connecting with people that are, either on the same kind of path that you are right now, or some, like I said, that are still, or they're a little more mature in their careers, you leave with so much confidence because they, you're learning, how to deal with different personality traits, leading meetings, having those tough conversations, and just kind of putting yourself in the position of like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I may only be, 20 something, 30 something, 40, like you leave with a lot of confidence and a lot of connections at the end. And so you have people you can talk to about it and get their insights.
Is there any type of content that you find ends up being the most impactful? Like, and I'm curious just as attendees too, like, has there been any type of piece that you found like particularly insightful when you leave the event?
For me, last year, I kind of just spoke on it, but on the young professionals track, we did a workshop on negotiating, and we sat there and we negotiated back and forth. And that it's not something you often get to practice until you're in the situation itself. So having that space to kind of just go back and forth in a safe, open environment, I took that back with me, and it's something that I go back to quite a bit.
Yeah, last year there was also kind of a workshop on, learning your own personality traits and, how you take information in and how that translates to how you output information to others. And so I think, honestly, just even learning about yourself, it's kind of crazy the things that you don't know about yourself sometimes. And, the way you learn, the way you receive messages, emails, and just learning what to do with that information and making you better at, talking to people, and like I said, leading meetings. It's good to kind of take a deep dive into yourself and your own learning and communication styles.
I would say also on the regional side, while the content is amazing, I think a lot of the takeaways also come during the collaboration time. Being able to be in person, not just with your board, but also with others from other regionals, exchanging those ideas, getting excited, hearing what worked for somebody else and how you can implement that into your own regional. I think that's where a lot of the great takeaways happen as well.
Yeah. Another perfect segue, Jill, into the next section I wanted to get into was about the connection and the networking piece about it. So something I constantly hear about LDC, and it's come up on this call, is the networking. So what makes connections at this event different than other events that people may attend?
I think it sometimes comes, again, knowing that these folks are coming as volunteers. It's a different mindset. You know, you're a professional and you're working full time, and this is allowing your volunteer self to get out. So you don't have an opportunity normally to be able to connect with people like you do at this type of conference. You're not coming again as a distributor, business service provider, supplier. You're coming as that volunteer wanting to make sure that your regional is strong, you're impacting the industry, you're providing what's needed for your members. And it's that exchange of in-person ideas that just goes so far.
Again, from the young professionals track, it's you're surrounded by all of your peers, which in the industry isn't something that you often get to find yourself in a room just full of people who are just starting out in their career and they're very new. But as Jill was saying, you're also surrounded by a bunch of volunteers who are truly like industry professionals. And at my first LDC, I remember at dinner one night, I just had unfiltered access to just ask so many questions with a lot of the regional leaders who were there. And there were so many things that I was interested in learning more about, but I just didn't know where to start and where to find that information. And my dinner table at that night was incredible. And I left with like a full notes app in my phone being like, okay, I'm going to get to this person, and this person. So take advantage of the networking and the people who are in the room because they have a lot to share with you.
Love that.
Yeah, the networking is definitely an important part of this event. It's nice that you, like Halle said, you start, kind of in your track, but then you're also introduced to the regional. So not only are you able to kind of pick the minds of people, kind of in the same spot as you in your career, but then after you're with your group, you also get to get introduced into the regionals, and then you have like just this whole list of questions for them after, talking with the young professionals. It's like, oh my gosh. And then you go into regionals and it's like, well, now I have even more questions. And so it's nice to kind of to pick the brains of both sides of things. And so and you leave, with so many connections. And I mean, I met Halle last year at LDC, and, the Rising Stars are there as well. And so they're networking with you, and it's great. It's really connections that you don't lose. And this industry is really built on connections. So it's a really key takeaway from LDC.
I love that. Yeah, it's so true. And I feel like that's true of all the events that PPAI puts on. And I've said this on all my other podcasts I've done with PPAI about PPAI conferences. Another shout out to say that you guys do it right, and they're always so well done. So, and I think that the connections and how you guys curate these events to these specific groups of people and audiences, I just think is so amazing and so fun. So that's just a side shout out for the work that goes in to put these events on. I'm going to transition a little bit now to, I swear you guys are having the best segues. It's like you got the questions ahead of time. So Jill, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the regional volunteers. Can you talk about why is that such an important part of this event?
Absolutely. And I do want to go back to what you just said. First off, thank you so much for your kind words about our conferences, and total shout out to the operations team and the professional development team. They put amazing events together. They think of things that I never would have thought of in a million years. So thank you so much. But huge shout out to both of those groups within PPAI.
Love that.
So yeah, the regionals, they're there like PPAI's mission, elevating the industry, advocating for their members, finding what they need to support and ensure that their members have success. So by coming in as a volunteer, it's a different mindset. They're thinking, how can we provide what we need to our members? How can we help them? How can we advocate for them? What can we do to provide a better event? What can we do to provide the education they really need and want? And it's all of this in one. So it's a fun event. It's fun education. It's a different mindset coming in as a volunteer. And it's just How can we make our regional stronger and better for our members? How can we provide them what they need and want?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, I want to kind of just help us get to, as we conclude, like, why should someone attend? I'm curious in each of your own words. Like, for someone considering attending, why should they make it a priority?
I think if you find yourself as a young professional in the industry who really, really likes this industry and wants to see it grow and wants to see yourself grow in it, this is the perfect place to start. It'll give you a foundation of new connections and a lot of great information to take back to the office with you.
And as a regional leader coming to this event, being able to have that in-person one-on-one connections, not just with your own board, but with other boards as well, is invaluable, whether it be the curated content or whether it be the one-on-one conversations, the collaboration, getting to talk with people from other regionals, getting to talk with the young professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as the first time attendee last year, I knew what to a little expect because, I work at PPAI, but I walked away with so much more than I could have ever expected. I mean, I left with friends, connections, and you just have so much to take back to your workspace. You have people that, had parents in the industry. Some people had, grandparents in the industry. Some people are fresh. And so you're getting so many perspectives that you get to take back with you. And it's incredible. I mean, between the education, the networking, the connections you make, I mean, you leave with a lot up your sleeve once you go back to work, and then you get to tell everyone about it. And then it's just, you leave with a big old bag of tricks almost, because you're just getting all this information from people that have been in the industry forever, or, are just getting started. So it's great.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much to all three of you for joining me today. This was lots of fun. I always enjoy getting to talk about these and talk to other people in the industry. For anybody who's interested, you're sold, you listen to this and you want to go, the link to register will be in the description of this episode. But we will see you guys all back on our next installment of Promo Perspectives. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.